Well, good morning, everybody. Thanks for hopping on. This is an information session about broadly chemistry placements. So you've gotten a chemistry placement score, and we're going to cover kind of the general classes that you can enter into as a freshman. But it's also going to talk just very briefly about the chemistry major. Some of the classes that you want to take may impact whether you want to major in chemistry or not, right? So we'll go through that kind of briefly. So as just a quick introduction to the chemistry department, one of the really cool things about the chemistry major at the University of Chicago is that there's an incredible history and legacy of excellence from undergraduates at this institution, in fact. So here's just a small sampling of folks who are now extremely established in their careers, both more recent graduates as well as graduates from a while ago, including our current president, who was an undergraduate here in the chemistry department at the University of Chicago and is now the president of the university. So needless to say, there's a lot of really great history and tradition of excellence specifically for our undergraduates at the University of Chicago in the chemistry department. And that's something that we're pretty proud of. And certainly I think it's something that a lot of you can be part of in the future if that's something that you're interested in. So to get kind of directly into the placement results, there's a few choices and courses of study that one can pick in chemistry, right? So we've recently expanded the offerings of possible majors that we have in the chemistry department. And these include a BA in chemistry, which is your gen ed requirements plus 13 courses, a BS in chemistry with a specialized track. And those tracks include things like chemical biology, inorganic chemistry, organic chemistry, physical chemistry, et cetera. Which is your gen eds plus 15 courses. There's a comprehensive track, ACS accredited degree, BS, which is your gen ed plus 18 courses. And then there's a joint degree, which is the BS in biological chemistry, and that's joint between chemistry and MGCB in BSD, and that's your gen eds plus 19 courses, right? In addition to those degree options, there's also a BS MS in chemistry. So you can get your BS and your MS in 4 years, which is a pretty good deal. And there's many, many examples of double or triple majors. One thing that I'll point out just to the freshmen is that UChicago has made the decision that there is unlimited double counting between majors at the University of Chicago. So if you have two majors that are 75% the same in their requirements, you can double major, not quite for free, but close for free. That is not true with minors, but it is true in majors, right? And then we also have a minor in chemistry, which is completing the general chemistry sequence in your freshman year, plus 4 200 level classes. And there's a few examples of those over here on the right side. I won't go into the details of that, but I'm happy to chat with folks. Okay. One point that I'll make to everybody that's really important is that many, many, many other majors require general chemistry. So I've seen increasing examples of the advising office telling students, oh, wait to take general chemistry because you're going to take physics and math in your first year, and that's just a lot to load up on. And the hard truth is that if you want to major in the sciences, you need to do general chemistry, physics, and math all in your freshman year. You just need to get it done because those are all prerequisites for upper level courses. So just as a general PSA, you should take general chemistry in your first year. There's some ways around that I'll talk about, but you should do that. Okay, so in terms of your placement, there are three, maybe 4-ish placements for chemistry, okay? The first one is Introductory General Chemistry. This is 101, 102, and then you would go back into the main comprehensive sequence in the spring quarter in 113. That's by placement only. You cannot drop down into that. Every year there's a few students that ask, oh, can I take this? Or it's been a while since I've taken chemistry. We look very carefully at the placement results. So if you've been placed into that course, you can and should enroll in it. And if you have not, you cannot. So just kind of laying that out there. The majority of folks will place into comprehensive general chemistry. This is our mainline sequence. It's taught by some really fantastic instructors. And if you're placed into that, you should feel very comfortable taking it. And then a number of you will place into the honors general chemistry course. And this is a really fantastic course. It's taught by research faculty. It's got cutting edge content. It moves at a slightly faster pace than comprehensive general chemistry. So it'll cover more material. You'll see more stuff, but I wouldn't say that it requires more work than comprehensive general chemistry. I'll also say the class sizes are quite a bit smaller, and it's meant to be a little bit more of an enriched sort of sequence. So highly recommended that if you place into that, you take that course. That happens by either placement, or if you've taken and gotten AP5 credit, you can also enroll in the honors general chemistry honors general chemistry course. Okay, so as I've kind of put here in bold, you're strongly recommended to stay with your placement. If you place into 111 and you would like to take the 121 sequence, that's totally fine. Just reach out to me and we can talk about it and kind of make sure that you're feeling prepared and all of that stuff. Okay. The other thing that we do that's a little unique to the chemistry department is called the CAPE, which is the Chemistry Advanced Placement Exam. We're going to call it the Advanced Placement Exam, but that's AP, so it's not that, it's the CAPE. And anyone who places into the honors sequence is invited to take this exam. As you see here in bold, this is coming up in about 2 weeks on August 14th and 15th. It's a Canvas exam, and it is open for 20 or for those 48 hours. So you can kind of take that whenever you'd like during that time. So this is kind of a nice way to get accelerated studies into chemistry. And what you can do is if you pass this exam, we'll grade it and try to give you those results back by end of August, early September. This enables you to skip general chemistry and enroll directly in upper level courses. For instance, organic chemistry. Some people do inorganic chemistry. Some people do physical chemistry. There's a lot of different options. So I'll kind of highlight these over here. So inorganic chemistry, organic chemistry, et cetera. And the way that it works is you will get back credit for general chemistry if you can complete 3 200 level courses beyond organic chemistry. So for instance, if you're in your first year, you pass the CAPE, you could take organic chemistry as a freshman, get that out of the way in your first year, and then you could take, for instance, 3/4 of physical chemistry as a sophomore, get your back credit for general chemistry, and get your physical chemistry credits. Or you could take 2/4 of inorganic chemistry and then the 4/4 of organic chemistry, which is 233. And that would also give you those 3 classes would give back credit for general chemistry. So this is a really great way to get 3 classes for free, basically. And it also is a way to get into more advanced studies in chemistry. If you're thinking about double majoring or doing a BS or MS or something like that, it can be really a pretty fantastic way to do that. So it is all or nothing. You can't say, oh, I just want to do one class. You have to do all 3 classes beyond organic to get the back credit for 111, 112, and 113. Okay. So again, if folks have questions, we'll do a Q&A as soon as I'm done, which is going to be about 3 minutes. All right, so last little bit that I'll just pitch to folks, not related to placement exams, but one thing I want to encourage everyone to do, regardless of what your major is to get into research as soon as you can. I think I was an undergraduate here too. I did research in the chemistry department as a freshman. And I think it was, I know it was one of the most transformative professional experiences of my life, for sure. And we have a lot of students that do research every year in the chemistry department. Actually, these numbers need to be updated a little bit. Venela Manava was a undergraduate in my lab who graduated recently, and she's now at MIT. We probably have on the order of 30 honors theses a year that are really made with substantive individual research from undergraduates. And here's kind of a sampling of the different topics that we have through research that undergraduate students do. And the one nice thing about chemistry is that it's a central science. So you can see that the topics that we have here really span biological chemistry, protein palmitylation, to lasers, to cancer treatments, to catalysis, to origins of life research, to new materials. There's a whole host of topics that one can pick from. So really, it's quite broad. And our undergraduates, as I mentioned, are really fantastic. Our majors go on to do really great things, and they win fellowships and so on and so forth. So, Okay, I think, oh, yeah, our undergraduates also publish papers in peer-reviewed journal articles. So here's just kind of a sampling of these from the past few years. And they win a lot of awards. So I won't kind of belabor this, but we have a number of undergraduates that go on and win gold letter, Gates, GRFP, et cetera. So I can talk more about that if people are interested. Um, okay, that is it. With that, I will stop and stop screen sharing. And if folks want to um, ask questions, please feel free to go ahead and raise your hand and unmute. Or if you're more comfortable typing anything into the chat, you can go ahead and do that, and I can respond verbally or type a response. And Carrie's put the link to the chemistry page on the course catalog in the chat too, so you can check that out if you want. Okay, any questions? I know they're out there, and if you have a question, you're not the only one, I promise. And I don't bite, certainly not virtually. Great question, Madeline. So Madeline was asking, what do you typically need? When do you need to commit if you want to do the BSMS? You don't need to decide that until you're probably end of your second year, beginning of your third year. So I think the biggest thing, if you want to do that, again, I'll kind of emphasize, take general chemistry and other classes in your first year, right? Get those prereqs out of the way. I think folks wait and then they run into issues, right? So yeah, definitely do those before then. Um, but you don't need to know that as a freshman for sure. All right, Catalina asks, do CAPE results come out before pre-registrations? We try to get those done, but I don't think it will be done before pre-registration. The piece of it that's nice is that if you do get approved for CAPE, you're either going into an upper level class beyond organic chemistry, which is usually not an issue for there's only one class, there's not sections and things like that. If you go into organic chemistry, we work directly with the director of organic chemistry, Dr. Valerie Keller, and she helps you kind of get into sections, and we guarantee enrollment for anyone who wants to take organic chemistry. So, long story, the answer to your question is no, but it shouldn't be an issue because we'll get you into the class and the section that you need to. Okay, who's next? Pondering. Okay, well, I guess I was just exceptionally clear.
John, I can chime in a little bit about other timeline related things if that would be helpful.
Yeah, that'd be great.
So for any of you who may have taken the chemistry placement exam late, the deadline was June 20th, but if you have taken it late or you still need to take it, just take it as soon as you can. Everything is still open and available to you in Canvas. And we do monitor that all summer for any late submissions. We also are monitoring for any late AP scores that could come in and influence your placement. Um, so just get those things in as soon as you can and we'll adapt. You can see a schedule in Canvas on the placement page that will show you when you can anticipate those results to be posted. Um, I will add that if you also are taking the math placement late, that influences your chemistry placement. So any of those things we'll be monitoring for and adjusting your placement throughout the summer if something changes.
Oh, and here come all the questions. So yeah, thanks, Carrie. So Kashvi is asking if you do pass the CAPE exam, can you use that for your major requirement for a non-chem major? And uh, I think you can. You cannot. So for the CAPE, just to be clear, you need to take those three classes after organic chemistry. And then once you complete those three courses, you get back credit for general chemistry. So for instance, if you're going to be a bio major, let's say, and you need to have general chemistry, then the CAPE exam, uh, after you complete those classes in chemistry, would give you back credit for general chemistry. And you can absolutely use those credits for your bio major. That should be no problem. One thing that people can run into a little bit is like, oh, if I need general chemistry as a prerequisite, um, how do I enroll in those higher level bio classes? And that if that ends up being an issue with the instructor or the advisors or anything, then you can just email me and I can vouch that prereq should be waived. Um, okay, Matvai is asking, are undergraduate research accessible for freshmen? And do I recommend the Edinburgh Chemistry Exchange Program? Okay, so two questions. I think that they are accessible for freshmen. I think a good way to get involved in research, if you're interested, is to email a research advisor, a PI, one of the faculty members in the chemistry department, and you can just go to chemistry.uchicago.edu and look, there's a whole list of faculty. Everyone has a page that talks about their research interests, and you can just email them. I will say that faculty are oversubscribed and distracted, so don't be discouraged if you don't get a response right away. Just keep emailing maybe once a week. And a great way to start is just to attend a few of they're called group meetings typically. So research groups will usually meet once a week, once every other week to talk about their latest results and present their findings and things like that. And that's a great way to sit and kind of learn what's going on. So you can absolutely do that. And then after attending a few of those, a lot of times it's a natural next step is to start in on a project with the faculty. So you can definitely start that as a freshman. Second question is the Edinburgh Exchange Program. I think that can be great. One of the things to think about is if you do want to do an honors thesis or something like that, then a lot of times that takes more than one quarter or more than one summer of contiguous research to get a body of work that is commensurate with an honors degree. So you'll just want to plan that out kind of carefully because a lot of times projects that are done in Edinburgh don't translate very well to projects that are going here because you have two different groups, two different research topics and things like that. So it can be good. Obviously, Edinburgh is a great city, and it's a cool experience to go and do that. But in terms of your research, you'll just want to think about how that meshes with plans around that. Um, okay, Karis is asking, what first year subjects courses do you recommend taking for chem majors? So obviously general chemistry or CAPE, right? Should definitely get your math requirements out of the way and physics. So you should do all of those things. I think that the advisors will try to tell you to get the core out of the way as soon as you can, and that is good advice. But I think particularly if you're going to be a chem major, it is more important to get those chemistry classes and prerequisites done in your first year, 100%. So, all right, Tanya's asking, could you talk a little bit about collaborative learning? Absolutely. This is a really great program. So it's 0 credits. You don't get a grade or anything for it, but it is built around the comprehensive course, and you basically work in small groups of students on extra problem solving, building skills for the class. And it's a lot of peer learning, and upper level undergraduates will kind of help guide the discussions in those working groups. So it's definitely extra work, but it's really, really valuable and really prepares you for the class material, and it's very closely aligned with the class material. So that's a really great program, and I encourage everyone to take it if they're at all interested. So. Okay, would you recommend going through Gen Chem over taking CAPE to students who want a more solid understanding of chemistry? Oh, that's a good question. I think if you've been offered to take the CAPE exam, then I'd encourage you to take it and see. And if you pass the CAPE exam, I think that means that you have a fairly solid foundation in chemistry and you can go on to organic. I think that's the advice that I would give. I think a lot of folks are nervous about skipping general chemistry because they're going to miss something fundamental. But I think that well-prepared students, and if you pass the CAPE, that means you're a well-prepared student. That means you're ready for higher level content. And I think that's, in my humble opinion, that's where the topic becomes quite a bit more fun and interesting. So I'd encourage folks to do that if you place. I wouldn't be scared about missing something fundamental. We try to use the CAPE to screen for preparation and making sure everybody's ready to do it. Okay,
John,
all good questions. Yeah, go ahead, Carrie.
I got a question that was sent to me directly, but I think this might be helpful to say out loud.
Sure.
Is there a makeup exam for CAPE if you miss it for scheduling
Yes.
issues?
Yes, that's a great question. And I can tell you the date too. It is September 18th and 19th. Okay. So I know folks have travel commitments and things like that, but I'd really, really encourage you, if you're thinking about it, to try to take it on August 14th and 15th, because if you have to wait until the makeup exam, that's pretty close to the start of the quarter, and you may be scrambling a little bit to get your classes and everything set up. So that's there as a backstop if there's technical issues and things like that. But I think the pretty strong recommendation is to try to take it in August if you can. Okay, bunch of good questions. I know one last little thing. I know some folks have been kind of logging in as we've been going. We've recorded this, so we'll be able to post that and you'll be able to watch. I just gave kind of a quick overview at the beginning, so there's nothing critical that folks missed. Catalina is asking, where can we see the results for the placement test? I might punt that to Carrie. I think you've been emailed with your placement results.
It's all saved in your My UChicago portal. So when you log into the portal, you'll see like a welcome message. Right above there, there's a place where you can toggle to test results, and that will have both your placement results and AP scores. For those of you who did IB exams, not all of those results will be visible. We have a kind of a manual process to include those, and so you'll only see eventually pop up um, IB results that have any implications on your placements or credit that you would be eligible for. So just know you won't see all of your IB results. Um, During pre-registration, there also is a place as you're putting in your course preferences where you can link out to your test results right there. You'll see a button that's just there for your convenience. Good question.
Okay. Okay, well, if there's no other questions, we'll maybe end it there. I'll hang on for another 5 minutes or something if anybody has any questions that they want to chat with me about or anything like that. And the last little thing that I'll do is I'll type my email into the chat here. And if folks want to contact me directly for any questions, any follow-ups or anything like that, then please just go ahead and reach out. Okay? Okay, thanks everybody. Have a great rest of summer. It's dwindling quickly.
Okay, John, I'm gonna stop recording. Okay,
Yep, sounds good.
right.